Well, good morning, team. It is Tuesday, the 14th of July, 2020, and it is my day 16. So it's day 16 for my suicide awareness challenge. A couple days ago, I talked about prevents and all the good things that's happening with prevents and how we can create a suicide awareness task force, a coalition essentially, to be able to get all the key players from the top to the bottom involved in helping us get after this suicide epidemic that we're having here in the United States. And I've had some comments from some friends, why aren't you talking about the civilian? And like I mentioned before, I'm not as familiar with the civilian side, and from what I understand, it almost needs to have a couple of different approaches. For one thing, with the military, I know that a lot of the military are fairly skilled at maybe disguising or not highlighting some of their challenges. So that's what we're trying to get after, is the stigma of those that realize they're having suicide challenges, mental health challenges, basically, the risk factors that are impacting their lives and their relationships, so that we can get to the left of that. And I think if we can continue to work with that, and one of the first steps is to create the awareness and to do everything we can to try to break down the stigma of those that are considering seeking help. And one of the other things, Colonel Arroyo mentioned one the other day, that one of his soldiers, or some of his soldiers, came up with, "I got your six." And one thing that we have a value with in the military is making sure that we never leave someone behind. And I look at suicide as an insider threat, because it can take a teammate out, it can affect a whole squad, and we need to get after that, just like all of the other things that we have going on right now. It takes a team approach. So Prevents is pretty cool, and today the Seeking Solutions for Military Suicide is presented or sponsored by Military Times, released their episode 26, and Dr. Van Halen is on there today. I'll put the link down below, or you can Google it. And remember that Prevents is the President's Roadmap to Empower Veterans and a National Tragedy of Suicide. So Dr. Van Halen went on this episode and talked about the roadmap that was released a few weeks ago. And I think you're going to start seeing a big public health awareness campaign, and that'll help us get after all of the suicides across the whole country. And so we've got a lot of teammates associated with this. So check out those links. Yesterday I gave a big shout out to all the behavioral health people that are helping us get after this. And a few days ago, all the chaplain corps, how they've joined in, and they've really taken a big strong lead in this. And I want to give a shout out to all the people out there that have taken on this suicide awareness challenge and have picked up the ball and doing their own 22 days. I know that several of the key players are wrapping up, but we got to find a bunch of other people to pick up that ball and continue doing what they can to shed some light on this for the awareness, to break down the stigmas that's associated with, so that people don't go out and seek help when they start to realize some of these small challenges and crisis. And let's start making it an everyday thing to take care of your mental health, just like you take care of your physical fitness, just like you take care of, all of your things that you have maintenance on. You get out ahead of that, so you can, defer a crisis, slow down a crisis, stop a crisis, so that we can get after this. So big shout out to everybody that's been doing these suicide awareness challenges, and I challenge many more of you to pick up that ball and continue this on. Remember, it's not about the push-ups. If you can do squats, if you can do sit-ups, if you can just do a wall sit for 22 seconds, whatever it takes just to have a small break of time so that you can help increase the awareness and reduce the stigma of seeking help. And probably one of the most important things is there is a lot of help out there, many different avenues, and it's getting better all the time. And probably more importantly is there's a lot of hope. So remember, if you haven't touched base with anybody for a while during these troubling times with COVID and civil unrest and all the things that we have going on in our lives, pretty much all of us have risk factors. So check on your battle buddy, check on your teammates, check on your neighbors, check on everybody that you think has some of those increased risk factors, and see what you can do to either help get them help or what you can do to just talk through some of that stuff. And remember, sometimes you just need to listen. All right, so let's get after these 22 today. Beautiful day here in Alabama. All right, so let's do one more for everybody out there that's seeking help and everybody out there that took just a moment to check on somebody. Let's get after these 22. All right, everybody. Have a great Tuesday.